I
ready, right?
did. I just hit it. Hey. I do not own the copyrights to this music. It is for entertainment purposes only.
What's the matter with your life? Is it poverty bringing you down? Is it real men turning you around? Did you put your $1 million check in someone else's pocket? Tell me, what's the matter with your world? Was it boy when you wanted a girl? When you wanted a girl? Does it just straight hair? You got no curl, no curl. Lying in your pocket, and who's got that body? Everybody needs a thrill. We all got to taste the feel. Everybody on top, living in real funky. Let's just got that body.
Hello, hello. Happy Friday and Happy New Year's. It is January 2nd, 2026. We have entered the new year, you guys, and I'm your host, Stephanie Beer. Welcome to Secure the Bag with me, of course, your Laker girl, where Friday secures the bag. This show will air every Monday and Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 9 a.m. on the East Coast. I'm here on the West Coast, so Pacific Standard Time, be here. On Monday is going to build the bag, and Friday will secure the bag. I want this show to help people who are listening to grow smart, learn how to protect profits, and build real wealth with discipline. You're not going to chase the hype. You're going to realize that stock trading is not gambling, and you also will learn to take the guessing game out of the equation when you're trading. So if you're ready to build a nice next egg and start stacking correctly, you're exactly where you need to be. Now, before we get into today's show, let me tell you what the bag really is. The bag is your freedom fund. It's your peace of mind. It's your exit strategy, and it's also your future you protecting your present you. And I have to say this disclaimer because this is not financial advice. I am not a licensed financial advisor. Everything shared on this show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I recommend always do your own research and trade based on your own risk tolerance. All right, now let's talk about chasing the hype because that happens a lot when you first get into trading stocks. A lot of people chase the hype. So I'm gonna break that down for you. One of the fastest ways to lose your bag is chasing the hype. Hype trading is when you jump into a stock or option after it already ran up just because it's trending, everyone is talking about it on social media, or you're afraid of missing out, which means FOMO. FOMO can become very expensive. So you want to definitely make sure that you're not chasing the hype. And I've done it. Trust me, I've done it. I've chased the hype. I've been there, done that, and it never was good at the end of the day. So what I want to say real quick, I want to give you a real quick background on when I started learning about stocks. Stocks were really introduced to me in the third grade. Financial literacy was being taught in elementary schools back in the 70s. Yep, back in the 70s. Talk. I remember it was in our math class. It was a math lesson at the time. And at that time, I didn't know it was financial literacy. I just remember my teacher handing us a newspaper and asked everyone to choose a company that they liked. And I remember I chose Pepsi. I chose Pepsi because I knew Pepsi was like a brand that we would see on television. It was being promoted. So I said, let me choose Pepsi. And back in the 70s, and way before that, of course, stocks were listed in the daily newspaper. That's how you saw and traded stocks. You would look at the newspaper. Every morning, major newspapers had full stock market pages. They showed company names, the stock symbol, yesterday closing price, today's highs and lows, volume, and volume means how many shares were traded, and the price change up and down. At the time, what our teacher was teaching us was compound interest, but in kid language. And that's how we learned how money makes more money when you leave it alone. Kids like myself at the time were shown that $10 could turn into $20 and $40, then $80 just by staying invested. It also taught us ownership. Children, we learned what stocks were, what it means to own a company, and that ownership creates wealth. That's why so many families bought stocks for kids as gifts. But our culture, we didn't fall into that. It also taught us delayed gratification, how to wait, how to plan, how to grow, and then enjoy, and not impulse buying. But the only thing I didn't take from that in the third grade, it was only taught one time. It wasn't a consistent class, which I wish it was, because if it was, I probably would have been in stocks way before I actually started trading. I actually started trading. Um, I think my first trade was back in 2018, and I actually, oops, let me touch something here. I actually look back because the first platform, and we're going to get into that in later episodes, and these episodes will only be 20 to 30 minutes. I want to pop in and pop out. What's up, Ebu? And I started trading in 2018. That was the first time I ever traded a stock. And I went back on my Robinhood app, and Robinhood is one of the platforms that I trade on. There's several other ones, and we will get into that in later episodes on which platform might work for you. Now, 2018 came around, got into the stock market. My first trade, and I actually have my statement here. Let me see if I can pull it up so you guys can see it. Where is that picture? Here it is, right here. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Snitchy. That's my first statement. September 18th is when I made my first deposit into Robinhood. It was for $200. And my first stock that I ever purchased was Bank of America for $17. I bought six of them for 100. I think it was what it came out to, what, $102? Yes. That was my first stock that I purchased, which is a trip to me. I know that's pretty small, you guys. You probably can't see it. You gotta even if you try to pinch it and look at it, you can take it down now, Snitchy. Um, so my first stock was Bank of America, $17. I bought six of them. I did make profit off of it. I was happy. I was moving. And I think my second stock was bought on September 24th, and it was Facebook. So now I'm like $500 in. But I only put $200 in the beginning, and then my second deposit of $186 went in. So I was sitting at what, $466. And I made those I made those trades. I made those trades, and I was cool. But you guys, let me tell you what happened. I'm gonna make this quick because then we're gonna talk about what a stock is and what a option is, and then we're gonna end the show. And then on Monday, because Monday sets the standard. Monday actually is, again, like I said in the beginning of the show, Monday will be where we build the bag, and Friday will be where you secure the bag. Okay. So 2018 first trade, I'm in good. I'm doing my thing, thinking I'm, about to make some money. But at this time, I had no clue what I really was doing. I just said, I just knew I heard buy Bank of America. So that's what I did. I bought Bank of America. I bought Facebook. I had no education behind it, but I just knew. I said, okay, well, I got money sitting in the bank because the bank uses your money and makes three times off of your money while you make very little money on a savings account. And we'll talk about that too on another episode. So I get in 2018, buy my stocks. As time goes by, you guys, I'm buying other stocks and I end up losing $1,200. But now, mind you, this is $1,200 that I made off of the $466. My $466 grew to $1,200. But I end up losing a lot of that $1,200, and I was bad about it. I was like, wow. So I actually leaned back on trading. I stopped, I was like, I'm not doing this. It's gambling. But it's really not gambling, you guys. It's really not. So I'm thinking, okay, let me get back. Let me not do this. But what I did start doing was starting to build a nest by depositing into Robinhood $100 a month from my paycheck. Automatically, you set it up, $100 go into Robinhood. Letting it sit there in my account. So when I am ready to purchase stocks, I'm going to be able to have the money right there. So 2 years pass by. I'm going, buying stocks here and there, other stocks that I really not finding out the education behind the stock. Is the stock going to go up high? It was by word of mouth, or it was by me doing my own research, because I'm that type of person. I will do research. I will try to learn everything about what I'm doing. So I go in, 2018 pass. As time passed, like I said, I lose some money. I'm like getting mad. Um, 2020, let's skip all the way to 2020 when the pandemic starts to hit. You know what happened? The market crashed. That was the most amazing time to ever get into the stock market when the pandemic hit, because everybody didn't know what was going on that was trading, and they took their money out and everything turned red. And so stocks that you purchase, that you use, for example, I'm an Apple user. I'm going to buy Apple. Guess what I did? I bought Apple. Of course, I bought Tesla. I bought all the stocks that I know if it's going to go down, guess what? It's going to go back up. So I end up buying and getting in. And long story short, you guys, I think I probably, during the pandemic, probably invested $5,000, but I came out close to $80,000 at the end of the day. So that's my story in stocks. And once I knew I could do that, guess what? I learned everything about trading stocks after that. So let's get back into it. I just wanted to let you know my journey and how I got here, where I was at. Because if you're not in the stock market, I know you think it's gambling, and you think it could become a guessing game for you, but it can't. If you do your research, what I do every morning, my alarm goes off at 6:25 a.m. The market opens at 6:30 a.m. here on the West Coast. That's 9:30 a.m. on the East Coast. My alarm goes off at 6:25. I get up, wash my face, brush my teeth, and I turn on Squawk in the Street. Squawk on the Street. I watch that Monday through Friday. Even if it's just on, even if I don't have the volume up, I have the closed captions on. It's on right now. And you watch the ticker at the bottom and you listen to them, because the news really affect stocks on their performances. So the news will do that to you. And so you got to be very diligent on watching Squawk in the Street, or you could do Seeking Alpha. That's an app that you can watch. And Squawk in the Street is on CNBC, so you can watch that. Um, I also go to Yahoo Finance. There, you can find out a lot of information about the stock, about the company. So those are little tidbits that I wanted to let you know about. All right, so let's get back to the show. I want you to know what a stock is. I mean, most people, some people just don't know what a stock really is. When you buy a stock, you are buying a share, one share. And on these platforms, Robinhood, Webull, and all these things, if the stock, say for example, Apple is at $200, and you say, well, I don't have $200, that's fine. You can buy partial shares. If you say I only have $50, you could go in and purchase $50 of Apple. And like I've done with Nvidia, because Nvidia shot up, and I'll tell you about this story later. But you can buy partial parts of a stock. So you don't have to spend $200 immediately. You could just buy $25 of it and just have and put that in until you build up your portfolio. So when you buy a stock, like I said, you're buying a share or shares. A share is one tiny piece of ownership in that company. And again, I buy I've been into stocks that I use daily. I use Apple. I could go through my portfolio and tell you things that I've purchased. And there's stocks that I shouldn't have never bought, but I bought into it. Now, your share lets you participate in the company's growth. You can earn dividends, and I'll tell you what a dividend is after this. Now, dividends aren't offered by every stock or by every company. So you also are able to vote on the company that you purchase, that you buy shares in. Sometimes, that's only sometimes you can. You also can sell your shares anytime the market is open. Again, the market is open from 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 9:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock on the East Coast. Now, stocks, they move on companies' performance, earning reports. Every company have earning reports every quarter. Good morning. Good morning, Tanya Jennings. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Great. I'm glad you're taking that information. And I really want us to like elevate you guys. Seriously, it is really, especially with the economy today, you really can build a nest egg from purchasing stocks. And we should have been in this years ago. Okay. Now, earning reports come out every quarter. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, I walk on the street every Monday through Friday. It comes on, it starts early, like 6 a.m., but then it has the opening bell at 6:30 a.m. So you want to watch the news, and also you the economy affects if the share is going to go up or not, or if the stock is going to go up or not. And sometimes the smartest move is just simply owning stocks. It really is. Now, let me get back into you and tell you what dividends are. Dividends are payments some companies send to shareholders just for owning the stock. Now, think of dividends like your stock, like your stock paying your rent. You don't have to trade, you don't have to sell, you simply get paid. And what is called is passive income. And I have stocks in there that pay me dividends. It comes in, I see it come in, and it's just really passive income. It's your money working while you're just really living your life. Now, everyone, most people, I'm not going to say everyone, most people have savings accounts. When you put your money in a savings account, the bank uses your money, and I said this earlier, to make profit, then pay you only pennies on your savings account. When you own dividend stocks, you become the bank. You're the bank. And companies pay you. And that's the difference between saving money and building money. So that's a real quick lesson on what stocks are and how to purchase stocks. And we'll get into that more detail on how to purchase on different platforms. But now let's get into more of once you get into the groove of purchasing stocks that you are ready again. You could get the Amazons. You use Amazon. Everybody, most people use Amazon. I got to get out of saying everybody because everybody don't use Amazon. But most people use Amazon. Buy Amazon. If you're using anything daily, buy it. Now you own a piece of that company. The Microsofts, people use Word, Excel, all of those things. Buy Microsoft. If you're on Facebook, buy Meta. Buy Meta, you guys, buy it. Meta owns Facebook and Instagram. These are top companies that even when they go down, that's when you go and buy more. When the market is red, you want to buy. It's like going shopping. I love shopping. I love shopping. I love going to stores and buying stuff, especially clothes. I'm a clothes horse. So when the market is red, it's just like you going into a sale. Buy, buy. You don't have to buy that whole stock. Just put some money in it. Now you're going to be richer than what you were yesterday. All right. So again, get get around 5 stocks. Me myself, again, this is not financial advice. This is what I do. Buying stocks that I know that I utilize on a regular basis, and I go shopping. I love going shopping. When the market is red, I don't get scared. I get happy. I go in and purchase more of the stocks that I have, or if I heard of if not heard, if I did my research on the stock, or if I know for sure that this stock is going to go back up. For example, let's talk about it because it's the rave right now. Silver. China is no longer selling silver. Guess what? I was already trading silver. I had already purchased silver a couple of years ago, but I started getting into options. And we're going to talk about the options now. Options is for more advanced um, traders. You want to just get used to buying stocks first before you jump into options. Now, options are leverage, and I love options. Ooh, ooh, ooh. When I first started doing options, I had no clue what I was doing. I knew nothing. I went by what somebody told me to do. I bought it and didn't know what I was doing. But what I did when I purchased the option, I went and learned everything about the option, what things made the stock move, or what should I do when to sell and when to buy. And we will get more detail in purchasing options or how to purchase options. But options are leverage. You're paying a smaller amount for a contract that controls 100 shares. So, for example, Apple. I'm gonna use Apple because I'm an Apple user. If you buy Apple, an option of Apple, you pay one flat rate for 100 shares, which is in the contract. That allows you to make bigger percentage gains with a smaller amount of money in shorter time frames. You can buy an option one day and sell it the next day, but I wouldn't recommend that, of course, because that's day trading. You're not at that level. Day trading is not good. There's swing traders, there's long-term traders, there's short-term traders, and again, those are things that we will cover here on how to secure the bag. But leverage also means losses happens faster. That's why options, you got to know what you're doing when you're doing options. Losses happen faster. I got 6 minutes, y'all, because I got to get out of here because Kings in the morning, I will get kicked out. So losses happens faster and mistakes cost more. So you got to be real careful when you're doing options. Stocks build your foundation. Options accelerate your foundation. So it increases your foundation. Me, I respect both, but we never, never, never on this show. We never. I'm never, never going to tell you to gamble either one, stock or options. Now, on our next episode, we're going to get into picking the platforms and how to sign up with these platforms because there's several different platforms. I think for me, which was the first one I ever tried to trade and buying stocks, was Robinhood. Back in the day, of course, with your jobs, you have your 401ks and things like that, and they do the investing for you. So personally, this is the first time, 2018 was the first time that I ever started doing trading personally myself. But when I work, I've always had my own 401k, which they did the trading for me, which I had Fidelity and I had Charles Schwab back then. But this is you controlling your portfolio. So you could pick between Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Robinhood, Webull. So we'll talk about how to create that account and how to become an individual brokerage, how to use your individual brokerage account, and how to choose which one you that fits you better. Webull, I love Webull too. Webull is it gives you better charts, and we'll learn how to read charts. We'll learn how to read the Greeks. We'll learn what volume means because all these things are very important when it comes to trading or trading with options. Right? So you guys, thank you guys for tuning in to Secure the Bag with your girl Stephanie because I want to come here and I want to educate. I want to help people elevate and make that money, secure that bag. So count it, close it, celebrate it because on this show, Friday is securing the bag and Monday is building the bag. This is Secure the Bag with your girl Stephanie Beard, y'all. And we will see you back here on Monday. You guys have a great weekend. Peace out.